Hello, this is Sylvie Anchor, and you're watching Silver Anchor, and this is Tarot Tuesday. It's our very first edition. If you're watching me Saturday, you saw me draw the Celtic knot here on our Celtic Cross spread. So here it is all finished. I have color-coded here the positions. So let's just go over them first, and then we're going to do a tarot reading. So this is going to be a specific reading because that's what the Celtic Cross is best for. So we're going to ask a specific question in a minute. So the first card, and this goes in the order that you're going to take them out, is the self. This is you in the spread. You're in the middle, right? And then there's a cross. It's the name. It's something that's across your path. It could be a person. It could be a personal challenge. What is in your way right now? And then I'm going to go in the order right here. 3 is your heart. 5 is your head. 4 is your past. 6 is your future. That simple. The way I like to think about it, this is like your emotional thinking, and this is your logical thinking, your head. You're being, so it's the two sides, your heart, what you feel, and then your head, what's, going on up there. And then this is called the staff. This is kind of a progression of your next steps. So this is the path you're on. You'll read, okay, this is what's going to happen, and then sometimes I think this is what's in your way. Number 8, it could also be something that helps you. So I put that as influence, number 8. And then your hopes and fears. And I don't always read it that way. These two, I kind of just intuitively feel. I know this is the beginning of the path, and then these are the things going along it, and then this is the end. So they could be hindrances, they could be help, they could be someone that's showing up. And you're going to have to use your intuition to see how that works. And I also sometimes read 6 into the whole thing. So I just get a feel of which one is he playing with or matches up with or conflicts with. That could be something that's going on your future path. And then number 10 is the outcome card. So that should be kind of your in conclusion, that. I put kind of a dotted line. If you still need further clarification, you can draw another card and even another one to kind of continue the story on. They just go on extra with the conclusion when there's like, well, what about this? And you can just ask one more question. You don't have to do a whole new spread for the question. So there's, you can see it's in a plastic protector. This is what I've been doing with all of my Grimoire pages when I'm done. And I'm putting them in a 3-ring binder. I know it's kind of neat, not your usual like aged old looking book. But this way I can keep changing the order, right? I can mix it up if I decide I want to put things in a different order, because that's the one thing. If you get a bound journal, it's in that order forever, so this way it's less permanent, and then I can replace a page if I'm like, I didn't really like how that Leo page turned out. I can redo it next year. So this is my deck. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards and ask a question. And I thought a lot about it today because it's really hard to read for yourself and for people that you're close to. So I decided I would do a reading about something that I'm not too emotionally attached to. Because even if I did something about COVID or the upcoming election or anything like that, I'm a little too, I wouldn't say, cat, my cat's shaking the camera, sorry. I wouldn't say I'm too emotional. I am too involved in COVID right now. So I didn't want to do a reading about it. I did do one before that I ended up deleting off my phone. So I'm sorry about the camera shaking. My cat is acting up. So it's that time of day. I've got some tea here, and I decided what I'm going to read about. I was looking for a celebrity that I wanted to read about. My first thought was Meghan Markle, but I don't care at all. But then my next thought was Bill Gates. So that's what we're going to do a reading for today. He's been in the news. He's been a little bit in my thoughts, but so I'm going to go ahead the way I shuffle. I'll show you here as well. This is my favorite and first deck that I've ever had. They're well loved and they know me very well, so it's nice to get to share them with you. I pull up like this. Some people shuffle it like a deck of cards, and you can see there's a little bit of a slight bend, and that's what happens. But I don't know how to do the waterfall on cards, and it just doesn't feel appropriate. Another way to shuffle is to just smear them around. And this is one way, if you like reversals, that I think the reversals are definitely going to work for you. I personally don't read reversals. I think there's enough options in the 72 cards available to convey the messages, especially in combinations of cards. But if you want to read reversals, that's up to you. So I just generally pull, and I'm going to think about my question. You can think along with me. Let's think about Bill Gates. Just what's going on with Mr. Bill Gates right now, the CEO, president of Microsoft. I'm not even sure if he's in that role anymore. I don't keep up with him. I know he has a lot of philanthropic work going on. He's very involved in current events right now. And I just thought that might be an interesting reading for Mr. Bill Gates. Let's think about his face. Just tune into Bill Gates' energy right now. So asking the cards as I shuffle. I'm going to stop there and check. Did you see that slight movement? That's the way my cards tell me that they're not done shuffling, so I keep shuffling. Think about Bill Gates. This one, a card popped out, so sometimes I just take a note on what card popped out. It might be relevant. I still wiggled a little, and I know this can get tedious, but it's worth it. It's hard for me to channel in with someone I don't know at all, not talking to. Not at all. Okay. We're going to keep trying. Trying to think, where does he live? I don't know why I'm visioning DC. I think he might be in California. I'm not sure where he is. I should just think United States of America. So generic. Maybe he's not even here right now. And we're there. Okay. I always cut the cards. And here is, and I don't do reversals, so you're just going to have to bear with me as I flip them over. Ace of Swords. I'm seeing this as that he's in the middle of a conflict, and this is a large conflict. Like, it's in front of everybody to see that there are two different sides on the opinion of him. And in his path is the Sun card. This is a major arcana. It's a card of happiness, so which is a weird one to have across his path. It's also families, children. I don't have very wide on the camera here, so I'm going to overlap a little bit. I'm just going to do the whole 4 together here for the cross. So I could see that he's been in his heart thinking he needs to change his path. And in his mind, he's lost some kind of battle that's going on. So I'm thinking it's related to this right here, as he feels like this is a losing battle. It's not turning out the way he thought it would. He's been changing his location, and that might have been hard for me to tune in because he's not, I feel like he's really on the move a lot. I see him in different shelters and different locations, like he's always on the move, changing around a lot. And then in the future, he's going to slow down, but also I'm seeing something with the money here. So I think I'm going to also go on. So this is, Pentacles are about your finances, and that's the first Pentacle we've seen here so far. So we'll see. And look at all the major arcana showing up in this reading. Oh my goodness. When they come out, it's a big deal. And do you remember her? We saw her when she popped out earlier. So Queen of Wands. Definitely the fate going on. So I'm trying to make sure everything's fitting in frame here. I'm just going to pull down. Yeah, there we go. I think we can see everybody here. And these two are now in the way I put them very close. So Wheel of Fortune, and look at, I can't believe how many major arcana are in this spread. I mean, it's more than 50%, when in actuality, it's like 20% of the deck. So it's pretty impressive. Even, yeah. So Wheel of Fortune, this is the fate. And I'm seeing the fate of the world is in his hands, which is kind of spooky. And I've been thinking that lately. I mean, you haven't been reading a lot about him, and maybe I'm a little emotionally invested, but there's some conspiracy theories about what Bill Gates is involved in right now. And it's involved with some other organizations are helping him. So the Hierophant, to me it's a weird card, but he's actually a sister card, I think, to the High Priestess. Is he's more like the High Priest. So this is male-oriented religion, right? See it as you will, as which type, but it's organizations, structure. And I'm seeing this as more like a secret organization. I'm getting the, like the Skull and Bones kind of feeling, like those secret handshake behind closed doors. We are not invited, right, to these clubs. And they are deeply involved in what's going to happen next in our world. And you can see they're writing down, this is what's going to happen next, the Wheel of Fortune, destiny. And they are taking a big piece of this. He's holding on really tight to control the wheel. He's taking the reins, and maybe this vehicle was feeling a little bit out of control, and he is moving it in this direction. Now, what he's looking for is a brand new world. Like, the Fool is a beginning, and that's his hope, right? He said this was the hope or fear, and it's just this optimism, this blind optimism. And I'm seeing a world with less people in it. He's part of an agenda that is trying to depopulate the earth. I'm just putting that out there. There's some evidence for it, and I think that's really the movement that's upon us right now. And I mean, part of me is like, yeah, probably the best thing for the planet Earth is less people, but how do you go about that? And is there an ethical way to get there? She is part of this equation. So the question is, who is this woman? She is a woman who works really hard. Wands are about work, and this is the first wand to show up. Actually, we've got a couple swords here for Bill. He's got a little bit of emotion going on as his head, which is right. His heart is the one that's hurting, and then we have one pentacle. We have and one wand. So one of each, right? And then 5, well, 2 of the swords. So the queen, I'm getting a blonde woman, an older woman. She's very well known and disliked. She's also in part of this club that Bill is in. Now I'm thinking, I know I hate it, is Hillary Clinton. I don't know who else it could be. I'm also thinking maybe a prime minister, like Prime Minister of Germany, something like that, a leader in our world who's blonde. She is part of these values of preserving the planet, conservation, environmentalism, but at any cost. Same with where Bill is at. So they are working together on this, or he is going to work with her in the future. Like, she is the outcome of this situation. And this reading went really weird for me. I think I already kind of had an idea of what I was thinking about him, so I don't know if I'm just reading into that, because that's the hard thing, is if it's your best friend, you already know what's going on in their life. It's really hard to read for your close friends, and sometimes I used to read for a close friend of mine. It was the same cards every time for her. The Strength card always showed up in her relationship readings, because that was her relationship. It was a battle of strength between the two of them, So you'll see that a lot. There's cards that keep popping up in readings for me all the time. And sometimes I'm like, maybe that card's just bent, but it's only for my readings. It's always where my mind's at. So you're going to see cards that pop up for certain people. We definitely saw her pop up during the shuffling. So she's very important in this situation. I think she is a key part to seeing this through. So the meeting is in the future with them. They're going to definitely meet through this organization. With the same hope in mind, the same hope of, the new world order, the new clean planet with happy people who deserve to live here. So there's a massive cleansing going on. That's what's happening. That's the real thing. I just wanted to get that across, that, and it hurts. It hurts in his head, right? The loss, but he sees it as the only way to this bright future. So take what you will from it. I just really wanted to show an example of the Celtic Cross in action. Tell me what you think. Would you like to see more celebrity readings? I'm going to do some more generic readings. I want to keep doing Tarot Tuesday. These are going to be a little bit shorter than my study videos. And that was a really weird reading. Sometimes after I get some weird vibes, I go ahead and cleanse my cards. And that just means shuffling them again and maybe swirling them around a little bit. For me, that cleanses it. Another thing you can do is put them over some smoke of some kind. You can let them rest in silk. I have a silk container I keep them in. Keep them near you if you have a deck, especially if it's new. Just take it with you everywhere. Let them get to know you. So I think we feel a little bit cleaner. My cards felt a little dirty after that. So we'll let them rest a little while, and you can always put some crystals near them, wave them over some incense or some other smoke, set them out in the full moon, that kind of thing, that just kind of cleanses their energy. And they're very absorbent of the energies around them. So one thing they've told me is they don't want to be around electronic devices, so I try not to store them with like my telephone charger or too close to the television or computer. They're not a fan. So let your cards talk to you and what they want, how they want to be treated. I want to wrap them back up because that's where they want to be. So thank y'all so much, and I hope you learned a little bit about tarot today and the Celtic Cross spread. I hope that was a good demo, and we'll do some more. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.